All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are cracking the code on what makes a college application really truly stand out. We're going to look at two completely different admission worlds and discover a pretty surprising secret that, believe it or not, connects them both. Okay, let's just dive right into the deep end, shall we? We're talking about the super competitive world of elite college admissions. The pressure is just immense. And as this quote kind of jokes, there's no secret recipe, right? It's not about just checking off a list of impressive sounding clubs. So, if there isn't some secret checklist, then what is this game all about? Well, the first thing you have to get is that these top colleges, they're looking way beyond your report card. They want to know what makes you tick when there's nobody there to give you a grade. And what's so interesting here is the kind of qualities they're looking for. See, they aren't searching for a well-rounded student who just dabbles in a little bit of everything. No, they want to see someone who goes deep, who shows real initiative, and who makes an actual impact. They want to see who you are and what unique thing you'd bring to their campus community. So how does this actually play out over your high school years? Well, a lot of experts suggest this clear path. You start broad, in ninth grade, just exploring what you're into. Then you start to narrow your focus and really commit. And here's the key. That leadership role you take in your junior or senior year, it's not about winning some popularity contest. It's the natural next step from the real work you've already put in. But here it is. This is the real secret sauce, the thing some people call admissions gold. The most impressive applicants, they don't just join stuff that's already there. They see a need, a problem, and they create something totally new to solve it. This is how you really stand out from the crowd. In this slide, it breaks down that process perfectly. You start with something you genuinely care about, you find a real problem in your world, and then you launch a small project. But the crucial part, and don't miss this, is tracking your results. That way, your final description isn't just, I started a club. It's a powerful, data-driven statement of your actual impact. And how you talk about what you did, man, it matters so much. Look at the weak description. It's so passive, right? Where it's like helped and supported. But then look at the strong one. It's packed with action verbs and specific numbers. It tells a story of leadership and real, tangible results. The difference is just night and day. Okay, so we're going to hit the brakes and switch gears completely. Let's step away from that high-pressure admissions race for a second and look at a very, very different kind of application. This one is for the Melissa Riggio Higher Education Program, which is an inclusive college program for students with intellectual disabilities. The whole purpose here is fundamentally different. It's not about trying to filter out applicants based on some mountain of achievements. Instead, the entire goal is to get to know the student as a person, to understand their personality, their dreams, and the specific support they might need to really thrive. And the questions they ask totally reflect this focus. They're deeply personal, asking about who you are, what your dreams are, and what you're aware of in yourself. It's an application built on honesty and looking inward, not just listing out accomplishments. So at first glance, these two worlds, one all about hyperachievement and the other about personal understanding, they seem like they have absolutely nothing in common, right? Like they're on different planets. But what if they're actually built on the exact same fundamental principle? Okay, this is where it all clicks into place. We're about to uncover this universal code that connects these two totally different application stories, and it reveals a powerful truth about how to tell your story, no matter who you are or where you're applying. The key, the bridge, is this guide that shows how that strategic mindset from the elite world can actually empower any applicant, especially those who might think their everyday experiences don't count as impressive extracurriculars. And this slide just nails that connection perfectly. On one side, you have elite applicants being told to show initiative by creating their own projects. And on the other, you have applicants being reminded that their real-life jobs and responsibilities are their projects. You see, it's all about showing commitment, growth, and impact. So the goal in either of these worlds is to build a cohesive personal story. It's all about connecting the dots between your job, your hobbies, your interests to tell a clear story about who you are and what you value. That's what admissions officers in any program are really looking for. Let's see how this actually works. A job as a cleaner, that isn't just cleaning. No, it's maintaining clean spaces for over 200 students. Being an office assistant is about supporting youth programs and community operations. It is all about reframing what you do to highlight the impact it has. So once you've figured out what these real-life experiences are, the next step is knowing how to talk about them in a really effective way. Remember, it's not just about what you did, but how you present it. And this framework is just so useful. For every single experience, you can create multiple powerful descriptions. You could focus on teamwork for one application and then switch it up and focus on independence for another. Use those strong verbs, throw in some numbers, and always, always tie it back to the bigger story of who you are. And finally, let's talk about what not to do. There are some really common mistakes that can sink an application, and it doesn't matter if you're applying to Harvard or the Melissa Riggio program. You know what's really wild here? It's how universal these mistakes are. Generic statements, losing your own voice in the essay, failing to connect what you did to how you grew, these are red flags no matter where you're applying. It just proves that all admissions staff are looking for the same thing, an authentic, thoughtful, and impactful story. So, after exploring these two very different paths, the big takeaway is surprisingly simple. It is not about having the perfect resume or a long list of fancy activities. It's about your ability to look at your own life, see your contributions, and tell a compelling story about them. Whether you're starting a composting program or you're managing a household budget, your experiences are valid. They're powerful. They are your story. So as you think about your own journey, the only question that really matters is the one on your screen right now.